Officer 3rd Class Brandon White with Off the Grid News. Hey, thank you for joining me today. Today you're joining me in the back of a warehouse, and you're probably wondering why you're seeing a back of a warehouse right now. Today we're talking about the bug out bag blues. Often if you go on the internet to do some research and find out what your bug out bag should have, if you are someone that's into emergency preparedness as much as I am, you're gonna realize a couple of things. One, a lot of the experts believe that your bug out bag shouldn't weigh anywhere between any more than 6 to 10% of your own body weight. However, I would have to disagree for myself. 6 to 10% just seems a little more than I'm willing to carry. And so I've innovated a new idea, still using your bug out bag, but this new philosophy essentially of a bug out bag is a smaller mini bug out bag. It's called a S.N.A.P bag. Situation not as planned. S.N.A.P also is a word that you can really envision with some movement and something happening. And that's what I want you to get to think about today when you're configuring an emergency bug out bag. Again, when you're thinking about an emergency bug out bag, there's a lot of options out there on the market. And what I would tell you is I have a couple of different emergency bug out bags. This is a good example of an emergency bug out bag. Again, huge bag with lots and lots of great gear. However, this is something that I would most likely take bits and pieces to configure my everyday day with. The idea and the philosophy of the S.N.A.P bag came to me when I started thinking about how you carry yourself in public and what people think about you when you're carrying things. I've seen preppers that carry these 6 to 10% bags that are their body weight around with them at all times. Me, myself, I like to be a little bit more incognito. Again, it's one of the reasons I'm back in the warehouse today. I just don't like a lot of people to know what I carry in my bug out bag. Part of the things and how I configure my bug out bag, it's so important, and I want you to write this down. This is an important thing to think about. Think about your day and how you plan your day. Think about the things that you may encounter in a day's time. Some tried and true things that I always carry with myself, and I've taken a mountain of grief over it before because I am a bike rider, are simple biking gloves. You never really think about how important it is, and as I spent my time in the military, I really realized the importance of gloves. If you're an emergency responder responding to an accident, you're gonna more than likely be grabbing onto something that's metal, that's hot, that's been twisted, that's cut. For 1,000 reasons I can't tell you is why I always carry gloves. And I've taken so many jokes from my friends and everything else about the reason I carry gloves. Another thing that I always carry with me too, it's my sunglasses. It's kind of a man purse, and I know a lot of people would joke and laugh about it, but again, I'm trying to get you to think about reasons why you might need what you need. For me, I spend a lot of time in my car, and that's a really important thing for me. A knife, and a really good knife at that. This knife can literally split wood. If I needed to cut small pieces of wood, I should say, I could effectively do that. And again, 1,000 reasons I can't tell you why I have a knife, and even another 2,000 reasons why I can't tell you I carry, as a backup, another 2 blades with me at all times. So a total of 3 knives is what I usually carry with me at most times. Of course, a cell phone, essential piece of everything that I'm doing, at least today, because I'm again in my car traveling back and forth to places, and I definitely will carry that with me as well. The other thing I always do have with me is a alternative power source. That's an important thing for me because I do use my phone quite a bit. And again, thinking of your S.N.A.P bag, you're gonna wanna think of an alternative power source. That's one of the things I do. In conjunction with that, again, because this is a normal work day for myself, I know I'm gonna be in the car. I know I could encounter people in the fall that have vehicles that are broken down, or I may need to use a vehicle that needs a jump start. I've got that. This weighs less than 2 ounces. It plugs right into this really cool power source, and I can jump start any car, as well as being able to battery power just literally anything from a laptop to whatever. And I got that little pigtail that goes with it as well. The other thing I always carry with myself too, and I know it might sound silly and trivial, is a plastic bag. You never know what you could use one of these plastic bags for, whether it's just, you're out caught in the weather, you could stow your cell phone or your electronics, whatever it may be inside of there. And again, also a water source. I always have water with me. The other thing that I like to carry with me are a couple belayer clips. Never know when you might need some cordage to tie something up or use something like this. I've just found, again, there's 1,000 reasons that I've actually had to use these for different projects around the place. And then I've got my ice bag. And all this really truly is if you look at it right here, it's ice in case of an emergency. And it's got 2 telephone numbers on it. If anything were to happen to me, again, I'm thinking through things. Redundancy is important. My cell phone doesn't work. The ice contacts on my cell phone doesn't work. How am I going to be, how is my family going to know where I'm at, what I'm doing? And then in the back, I always carry extra pen, extra paper to write things down and take any notations that might be important. Again, this is not a true bug out bag. This is what I'm calling a S.N.A.P bag, situation not as planned. And the idea here is to configure your bag for whatever activity that you're going out in. And again, carrying less is more. Remember how that is. It's always less is more. Use your bug out bag, but what I want you to do is condition yourself and condition others around you to be able to see you carrying something around like, and the joke has always been a fanny pack. Brandon, you're bringing the fanny packs back. I'm like, you know what? This is a functional piece of equipment that's small, compact, and doesn't draw a lot of attention, which is the most important thing. When you're in a survivability situation, not drawing attention to yourself is probably one of the most important factors. So take this information, write that down. S.N.A.P. It stands for situation not as planned. Make sure that you're planning for that ahead of time. Utilize the tools that are out there, but don't carry as much weight and go incognito. Petty Officer 3rd Class Brandon White with Off the Grid News. Thank you for joining me. I hope you got something out of today, and have a great day.